All right.
Well, in the amount of time you spent on special teams in fall camp, what are your early thoughts on where you guys are at?
Yeah, no, I think we did heavy special teams day to day, just more depth overall. You can see that throughout the four-chord kickoff return. Obviously, there's been some preseason accolades, for our return specialists. And so we got some athletes back there, just getting the guys in the right places and seeing segment-wise strengths and weaknesses. And Saturday we'll get into some live work, and I think that's when we'll really see personnel-wise how it manifests itself.
Now you've seen some of the younger players, some of those who haven't had the chance to start on special teams yet, have go through summer after workouts. Is there anyone that's standing out to you that you feel like could be contributing on this team?
Yeah, I think you saw it like with Alex Kilgore last year. I think Brandon Booker's in the same mold. I would be shocked if he's not a heavy contributor early and on multiple units there. That's one guy who stands out. Obviously, you got some new transfers, and you lose track of who's a new guy at this point in time after the summer now. But Booker's a guy that I think we should keep an eye on, definitely.
What are some of the things you've worked on in the offseason or as a staff overall, just to fine-tune things? Any major changes schematically or things like that?
Not really. Just obviously you do self-scout in the summer. There's areas that we need to improve on. There's areas on teams that we're really good at. There's areas we need to get better at. Punts an area we want to improve on. Obviously, we're spending a lot of time on punts, spending a lot of time on everything, really. And so, schematically, no. Just getting new personnel in there, and then really going heavy on us, focusing on us, and then we'll worry about Nevada and those guys later on in camp.
How much does a guy like Brashard coming in help maybe turn things more positively on kick return?
Right, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that we're still all, the other 10 guys are going to have to do their job. He's no different, he's no different than anybody else in the country. What he does do is, the scouting report for our early opponents are very aware of who's back there, and that might change what they do. But Brashard, from running back, and we'll talk probably about running backs in a second. Brashard he's been great early on. Been very pleased with him, and it's a role that not only Brashard really is trying to be getting reps on, but other guys too are trying. They're coming and knocking on my door and saying, "Coach, I want to return kicks." And sometimes it's like a linebacker joking around. I'm like, "All right, get out of my office." But there are some candidates skill-wise that Brashard's not going to take every rep on kickoff.
You coached Brashard at Miami, right? You had a year with him?
Yes, I had a year with him as an analyst there, coach last year. Yep.
Okay. And how does that help at all, having that relationship?
Well, when we recruited him, it really helped us because we had, he was a freshman with us pre-COVID, and so we had him. He was in that COVID class. We got him to Miami. He was a contributor early on. He's obviously, you've seen his career. He's been a steady contributor. So in the recruiting process, we really didn't know position-wise early. He was a slot guy, a return specialist at Miami, and I got to be the running backs coach, and that happened. It was a conversation Coach last year and I had saying, "Hey, he's such a dynamic athlete. Let's find a place for him." And so the personalities, him and I mesh well. We get after each other, and so it's going to be fun. It has been fun. It's going to be fun to coach him this year.
What have you seen this offseason from Collin? And just, as he enters his third year, I know he battled kind of some injury stuff, but kind of as he's now fully healthy, third year, as he's kind of really taken ownership.
I think where you saw Collin maturity-wise merge was after that first, I think it was 2 of 5 in his first couple games last year, kicking field goals, and just came on. And then building off that season, having a strong off season, we brought in Coach Casey Horney to work with a specialist, and he's been great, and Collin has been great subsequently. And so far this camp, I don't think he's missed a field goal, past like 52 yards. So he needs to mature. He's got to mature, as a person too. And he's doing that. He knows that.
When you look at the running back room and you bring back your top 3 guys, how do you make sure that the room's still elevating, still getting better year on year?
Yeah, it has to. They know they have to because there's a lot of competition for reps, and over the course of the game, we want to have 80 offensive plays. Even if you divide that by 4 and everyone gets 20, where are the touches going to be? And so it's a challenge for them to know what we're doing, not have any busts on the assignments and the offense, and then they know every day they come out here they got to push each other because each one of them has different strengths, different weaknesses, but they're all experienced. They all have the potential to be explosive. And so that room, I think, it's just a matter of them wanting each other to have success. and that group will raise and our offense will raise because of it.
What is kind of maybe their early pecking order, or anyone that's really stepped up into the way you want them to so far?
Honestly, I think all of them have done what they needed to do. I think we came into camp and said we have 4 good backs, and so it's going to be a situation where we get into that first game. Who's hot? We want to ride a hot hand, and I don't think we'll have a starter per se for game 1. But I think as you get into the season, you guys, watching the games will be able to see, okay, this is kind of what's happening rep-wise. This is kind of what's happening rotation-wise, and then the cream rises to the top there. And you got some guys who can do different things and do different things in our offense too.
Yeah, how does leadership kind of fall into that when you've got experienced guy like Brashard coming in and 3 guys who were on this team last year and all had big moments? How does leadership kind of build in that role?
Challenging them all to be themselves. LJ Johnson's a quiet guy who's just going to come out here and work. Challenging Rooster to be the energy guy he is, and so it's like the 4 of them as a whole have the leadership that would be what you want from one guy. And so collectively as a group, we just have to bring good energy every day. And I'm challenging those guys to be tough and to be disciplined. And so, that may have lacked in the past a little bit. Just a little bit of toughness and discipline that we're trying to harp in that group, Coach Foster and I.
With the rotation, what is kind of your mentality and approach to a rotation with the backs? I know you want a hot hand, but you kind of go drive by drive, or do you want to give guys multiple drives to try and get into a rhythm?
I think that's a good question. And I think it's going to be game by game. I think it's going to be we're going to go out the first game. If we go out that first drive and that guy's hot, then he'll get a second drive. If we go out that first drive and we kind of fluster a little bit, we'll try and see if we can get another hand. And so it's just going to be adaptive in the rotation. I know I'm giving you a little bit coach speak, but they can do all the things that we want to do on our offense. And so let's make sure we get through camp healthy, and so we have 4 weapons that we can roll out there.
Best part of training camp so far?
Oh gosh, the competition OD. I mean, it's almost at times where we've had to rein it in, team meetings, show good clips of offense, good clips of defense, because it really is almost ultra competitive. We take it from the field to the locker room, and there's no physical things happening there, because it's so physical here, and they know when they break as a team, like, hey man, we're boys, we're still all teams. So I would say the competition, and the talk, being able to back up the talk, because there's a lot of guys who are loud.
Well, how do you feel about the pass protection from your back so far? I know that defensive front, sometimes guys got to step into some big guys.
Yeah, I think if we can protect our defense, we can protect a lot of teams in this country. And so our guys are getting a good challenge, every day, even in individual, working with Coach Crum and the linebackers. Like I told Coach Crum yesterday, we went 0 for 2 on Kobe Wilson on pass protection. He got us twice. He got Rooster and he got LJ. It's not acceptable. And so those guys have a challenge, and that's the competitive nature we just talked about. Say, hey, tomorrow, and I want you to go in the hallway when you see Kobe Wilson and tell them it's not going to happen tomorrow. Okay, don't open that mantra like we got to go to the next play, but also we can't let two bad plays stack on top of each other, and then physically we should be able to block it.
For you, what's it like being back on offense after a couple years here on defense? And you were with running backs your first stint here.
Yeah.
Just kind of what's it like getting back in that groove and all that again?
It was weird. It was my first day back on offense was like, you flash back to 2021 when you're going in that room and Coach Lashley and Coach Likens and Coach Justice are there, and you're like, okay, it was just kind of a seamless transition to the point where Coach Lashley and those guys had to remind themselves that I don't know what plays you put in the last 2 years. You're speaking a different language. Catch me up, I'll catch up, but it's been really good. And then the running backs, man, it's a unique group always, because they they do different jobs, kind of like the linebackers on defense. They do different jobs, but they want love too. And so it's just managing personalities and saying, hey, we need to have team success, because they all have career aspirations, and that involves getting good film and just making sure they have the trust in myself, Coach Foster, who's helping me with running backs, that we have their best interests, and I think we're there right now.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
You're gonna love talking to Beat Money.
Is that his nickname?
Beat Money.
I didn't adjustment been like for you at SMU? I mean, you've got some familiar faces both former teammates and coaches, but totally different city.
I feel like it's been a very great experience for me. Just moving out, my first time like moving out of state, so I feel like it's pretty good. Good connection going on.
What was it about SMU other than maybe your previous connections that made you excited to join this team? Particularly, I mean, you're going to a different team, but you're actually staying in the same conference.
Coach Lashley, he played a big part in me coming over to SMU. I trust him a lot, and I know what he has going on. I trust him.
What do you want out of this season?
I want us to go all the way, win it all, national championship. To me, it doesn't matter. I feel like we have a good team, and starting on the ACC, we're going to show something.
Do you have any personal goals ahead of it?
I'll say just stay healthy and just do me, really. That's all. Really.
The role that they have you kind of prepared to play, how difficult is it to maybe learn a little slot, but also mainly running back and all those things?
I played running back all my life and like growing up, so it's kind of just me just getting my feet wet again and just like learning on how the O-line is blocking and stuff. But other than that, it's pretty natural.
What's it been working like with Coach Cooper and what he has planned for the special team side and for the
I feel like he has something coming really good. I think it's going to be a very explosive special teams this year, and we're just going to keep building off that. And we just got a lot of guys, not even me, but coming in like behind me, it's a lot of guys. It's explosive.
How much pride do you take in your versatility that they can kind of ask you to do a lot of different things, and you'll be able to do it at a high level?
It just, I'll say it humbles me just to stay focused and just be 100%, always be available. And that's just the main thing for me, just being available. Just don't care what you do, just put it all on the line for your team.
How much does accomplishing what you did in the ACC last year kind of help going into another year in the conference?
I feel like that's pretty good too. Like I'm familiar with a lot of these teams. But I guess I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
What's that running backs room like with the three guys that are back? Obviously Derek came in. Just kind of what's that like in there?
I feel like we all got like different types of like agilities. Like when it comes to us, I feel like LJ he's pretty good and he's more of like a power back. We got Rooster, he's a speed back like me, so we got a lot going on. I feel like it's gonna be really fun to see.
Thanks, Brashard.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. Going into your third year, just how are you feeling? And were you healthy all summer this time? Kind of got to be feeling a little better about that.
Kind of didn't have the greatest of springs, and then so I kind of needed to prove myself. Come out fall camp, and I felt like I've pretty much like done what I needed to do, and been healthy, been working all summer, and so I feel really good coming into the season.
Coach Cooper talked a little bit about the slow start last year, and then you just kind of locking in. Not that you want to start slow, but what does it tell you about yourself that you can go through that and then still find that and find that consistency?
It was mostly like I just kind of I wasn't all the way locked in originally, and I think that's good that I can overcome that adversity. Just start, I think it was like 1-4 or something like that, 2-4 maybe, but not very good, and overcome that and have resilience. But I think that's building, that's maturing, and I think that I'm at that level to where now I can have a great season and just stay consistent all the time.
Yeah, can you talk a little about being prepared and being able to hit the ground running like I'm sure you hope to do this season?
Yeah, it just starts at fall camp, and it starts with developing a new relationship, because the past 2 years I've had a relationship with Ryan Wachowski, and he's a all-pro holder pretty much. I've seen some holds by him. I tell guys, you could make one of the Tavon Austin clips of YouTube videos of his holds in practice and stuff like that. And so, but Isaac's doing a great job, and obviously still have Will, and so we've just been building that relationship, and I think it's gone great.
In an off season, do you focus more on trying to extend your range? Is it consistency, or are you kind of able to do both in the work you do?
This off season, I was mostly focusing on consistency, because I was last season I was very inconsistent, and so this off season, this summer, I was focused a lot on consistency and ball striking and just being more accurate.
Does this move to the ACC, does that do anything particular for you? Obviously, lights are a little brighter, but is it really just about sticking with what you're doing?
No, it's about the same. I mean, I grew up in the SEC, so I know I've been there before, and I'm good friends with a lot of SEC guys, and it doesn't really bother me. I mean, people ask you, they're like, what do you hear when you're about to kick? I'm like, I don't hear anything. It's just black. It's like you're in your own room, like you're in an acoustic room and everything's quiet. Like you don't hear the crowd or anything. And that's what you have to do. So.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
Thank
Collin.
you.
Thank you.
There you go.